प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। रामाय रामभद्राय रामचन्द्राय वेध्यसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीतायाः पतये नमः। कूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरम् आरुह्य कविताशाखां वन्दे वाल्मीकिकोकिलम्। अञ्जनानन्दनं वीरं जानकी शोकनाशनं कपीशमक्षहन्तारं वन्दे लङ्काभयङ्करं। नमोऽस्तु रामाय सलक्ष्मणाय देव्यै च तस्यै जनकात्मजायै। नमोऽस्तु रुद्रेन्द्रयमानिलेभ्यो नमोऽस्तु चन्द्रार्कमरुद्गणेभ्यः। ॐ नमः परमहंसास्वादितचरणकमलचिन्मकरन्दाय भक्तजनमानसनिवासाय श्रीरामचन्द्राय ॐ। We are in the 14th sarga. A few more verses are left. We will finish that today. Before I get into the verses, I just wanted to add, because last time in the last session I was saying about about Shukla Yajurveda in general, about having 140 chapters. 40, the first 40 being Samhita, and then 100, the next 100 being Shatapatha Brahmana, 100 Brahmana portion, which has 100 kind of chapters in it. So I just wanted to add, for information's sake, just to complete the topic, the 40th chapter of the Samhita is Ishavasya Upanishad, actually. So Ishavasya Upanishad, though technically, I mean, Vedanta means something that comes at the end of the Veda. It's not. It's generally the case, but there are some exceptions. So there are some Upanishads which come. I think Aitareya comes in between the Brahmana, I think, but Ishavasya Upanishad comes in the end. It's the 40th chapter of the Samhita. So the last chapter of the Samhita, if you see that way. And then, of course, I told you of the 100 chapters that constitute the Brahmana. 92 chapters form the Brahmana. The last 8 constitute the Aranyaka. And of that 8, the last 6 constitute the Upanishad. So Ishavasya Upanishad therefore has a very important place in Hinduism, because it is the only. I mean, there are some schools of Hinduism which don't accept Brahmanas as Vedas. So they say Brahmana portions are have been added up later. Why they say it? Because in Brahmana portions you will see stories coming up. Some akhyayikas and things like that, which we call as Arthavada, but they say these are stories. So if there is something called story, Veda being Nitya, if there is a story, so if you say, if there is one Bhrugu and then there is one Varuna, so Varuna was the father, Bhrugu was the son, if you say like that, then it becomes a historical thing. So so the mere mention of father and son shows that one of them has come later. So father comes first and son comes later. So these problems are there. So one school, which is today they are called Arya Samajis, because that Arya Samaj school doesn't accept Brahmana portions as Vedas, but they accept Samhita. Therefore, the only Upanishad, at least of what I know, at least of the major Upanishads, Ishavasya is the only Upanishad that comes in the Samhita portion. So therefore, they accept that Upanishad also. So Ishavasya Upanishad therefore has a very important role that way, because it is universally accepted by all people who accept Vedas. So like I said, some people don't accept Brahmana. Even they accept Ishavasya Upanishad because it forms part of the Samhita portion. And then textually also it has got a certain greatness. It is the second shortest Upanishad, I think, because Mandukya has about 12 mantras or something. Ishavasya has 18 mantras. So it's in a way it's very short compared to other Upanishads. But you can so you can see. So Maharaj Shri used to say this, and then Tattvavedantaji also said this in his Ishavasya class. Ishavasya, so Bhagavad Gita being so it is as good as Upanishad. Bhagavad Gita is taken up as a Smriti, but you say it contains the essence of all Upanishads. So can you trace shlokas of Bhagavad Gita to the Upanishads? You can, and you can definitely each shloka, each mantra in Ishavasya itself, you can trace one to one. You can trace into Bhagavad Gita. So that kind of influence Ishavasya has. So it has the greatest influence, let's say, on Bhagavad Gita, because all its mantras can be found in Bhagavad Gita in some way or the other. And then, of course, other Upanishads also are there in Bhagavad. I mean, the topics discussed in other Upanishads are also there. So I just thought I will add this topic to bring a certain, what should I say, comprehensiveness to this discussion which we had about Shukla Yajurveda. We finished up to 35 35 shlokas of Ramayana, of this sarga, 14th sarga. And then we will see from the 36th shloka. I mean, we have about another 25 shlokas left. So we will finish this chapter today, and then I will make some comments at the end. So where are we topic wise? So we have seen that it requires that the Pattamahishi, the chief queen, will go along with the other queen. She will go to the horse and make three kind of holes into the horse with a sword, and then the night is spent there. So the horse is already dead, and then the queen goes and makes those three holes also, or whatever she pokes into that horse thrice, and then the night is spent there. And then the next morning, these some other kratus are left. So the Ritwiks come in and make them touch the feet or the front right leg of the horse, and some kratus are there. So we have reached till there. So we will proceed further. So 36th shloka. Patatrinas vapam udhritya niyatendriyah ritvik paramasampannah shrapayamasa shastratah. So now what happens? Now the next day, the horse. So now that this dead horse is there, so they do this something called Vapa Homa is there in the Vedas. We see maybe it's the same Vapa Homa here, which is being talked about. So there is one. Prajapatihi Swatmanaha Vapam Udakhidat. So there is a mantra like that. So there is a Akhyayika that in the beginning of Srishti, Prajapati, which is Brahma. We say Puranically, we say Brahma. In Vedic language, he's called Prajapati. So Prajapati had to do some homa. There was that context. So he had to do some homa, but then nothing was created yet. And then that is he has to do Vapa Homa. So where will he get this Vapa from? Because creation is not yet made. So what did he do? He took out his own Vapa. So this Vapa is, they say it's that piece of flesh which is which is close to the stomach. So somewhere between stomach and heart, it is that kind of, not flesh also, the fat that is found there. So with that you have to do the homa. So Prajapati, what did he do? He didn't have, the creation was not yet done. So he takes out his own Vapa and does the homa. So I mean, this is given as a standard example for Arthavada. I think it is Gunavada there. So Arthavada is of three types: Gunavada, Anuvada, Loka Anuvada, and then Bhutarthavada. So three types of Arthavadas are there. This is an example for Gunavada. So Prajapati takes out his own Vapa and does Homa, which is impossible. Once you take out your Vapa, you die. So there you will not be left with for you to do the Homa. Somebody else can take out your Vapa and do the Homa. That's a different thing. But here only Prajapati was there and he does his Vapa Homa. So I'm giving you some details because this is small topic. So I'm just going into some details, and this is again discussed in some Vedantic texts. This example comes up. So I'm dwelling on it. So the meaning there, the intention there is not that Prajapati literally took out his Vapa and did Homa. It means that Vapa, that Pashu also, and that Vapa Homa itself is so some Prashastyam is there. So it's a great Homa that Prajapati himself took out. He took out his own Vapa and did the Homa. So that kind of praise is there. So it's called Gunavada. And then of course other two, Lokanuvada, and Lokanuvada means something that you already know in this world. So that is being restated in the Vedas. So Vedas have to have something what should I say, unique. So Vedas have to reveal something which is not otherwise known. So if it's known otherwise, so something that I know through my perception and something is stated by the Vedas, if both are the same, then one of them become redundant. So if Veda is restating something, then it's not like it's redundant. What we say is so it is Lokanuvada. It's just restatement of what is already known. So so Veda has no tatparya in revealing something new in there. And then Bhutarthavada roughly is, how should I put it? So the Bhutarthavada, the example is Indra killed Vajra with his thunderbolt, they say. So that's the example. So there the intention is to say something, some story which we don't know about. So something like that. And then in Brahmasutra Bhashya, this Bhutarthavada is used in Devatadhikaranam to show this Bhutarthavada. Shankaracharya Acharya brings it out and says, see, Bhutarthavadas are there in the Vedas. Therefore, these devatas are people there, like you and me. There are these devatas with limbs and all that. So in the Devatadhikaranam, he states like that using Bhutarthavada as an example. So all that is not relevant to the context, but because his Vapa came now, I just went into that Vapa Homa example of Prajapati. So the Shruti Vakya is there. So Prajapati Swatmanaha Vapa Mudakhidat. So that Shruti is there. So this Vapa Homa is there. So this Vapa, I don't know what's the English word exactly for that. So, but that it's that part of that fat, actually, it's not even flesh, the fat that is around the stomach, somewhere between the stomach and heart. So that fat is used in this Vapa Homa. So that is being mentioned here. So Patatrinaha, like I said in the last session, Patatri actually actually means bird, but then here it means the horse which is swiftly moving, like a bird swiftly flies, like that. So bird has no obstruction when it is flying. We have to go on the road, then there are obstructions, so opposite traffic is there, and then road take turns and things like that. But bird goes straight, it doesn't have any obstruction. So in law, in some law, I mean, it's stated like that in Income Tax Act and things like that. So in law, income tax law, there's a difference between act and law. In income tax law, there is statements like this, that birds kind of, what should I say, the birds, the distance, or rather the distance traveled by the bird, that means straight line distance. So one point A to point B, if I have to actually go, then I have to take roads, and then road distance will not be a straight line distance. So to measure the shortest possible distance is straight line, always. So how that is used is the bird's distance, so the how bird travels, that's something like that. So unobstructed travel. So unobstructed travel this horse has had, because it has been released as part of the Ashwamedha, I mean, precursor to the Ashwamedha Yaga itself. That horse was released and things like that, and it went up unobstructed. So that's the hint here. So Patatrinaha means that horse which earlier went unobstructed. That horse, so Patatrinaha, Tasya Patatrinaha means of that horse, Vapam. Vapam is that kind of fat that I told you, Udhritya. So having taken out Niyatendriya, one particular Ritvik. So Ritvik Niyatendriyaha, one Ritvik. Niyatendriya we have been saying, so one who has his Indriyas under his control, such kind of Ritvik. Paramasampannaha, what? So Paramasampannaha, so how to say Paramasampannaha? So Paramasampannaha, you can, it's not discussed in. So Paramasampannaha is, you can say, one who has great kind of knowledge. So Paramasampannaha is, he has some particular wealth in great measure. And what is that wealth? Maybe here you can take Shastric knowledge, that kind of Paramasampannaha. Shrapayamasa Shastrataha. So according to Shastra, Shrapayamasa means papacha, he cooked it. So that is the Shastra Vidhi. So he took out the fat, that particular fat of the horse, and he cooked. And then Dhumagandham Vapayastu Jighratisma Naradhipaha Yatha Kalam Yatha Nyayam Nirnuna Nirnunad Nirnudan Papamatmanaha. So then the Vidhi is, this Maharaja who is doing the Ashwamedha Yaga, he has to smell the what would I say, the smoke that comes out when this Vapa Homa is being done. So that is what is being said here. So Dhumagandham is the smell that comes from the Dhuma. Dhuma is smoke. The smell that comes from that Dhumagandha of that Vapa. Vapayastu Dhumagandham. So that Dhuma that comes when this Vapa is being offered in fire, that Jighratisma Naradhipaha. Naradhipaha is Dasharatha, that Dasharatha smelt it. So Jighratisma. So Yatha Kalam, and then how did he do it? Yatha Kalam, Yatha Nyayam, Nirnunad, Nir, so Nirnudan. So Nirnudan means, so Papam, Atmanaha Papam, Nirnudan means that act of smelling that Dhuma is an act that destroys his Papam. So that is how the Shastra Vidhi is, and Yatha Kalam, Yatha Nyayam, according to the Shastra Vidhi, and according to the, I mean, whatever is the appropriate time, at that time he smelt this smoke of the Vapa, which is supposed to destroy his Papam. What is a Papam here? So his Papam here is what is obstructing him from getting a son. So that Papam is being destroyed. According to the Veda, when that smoke is smelled, that Papa is destroyed. Hayasya yani changani tani sarvani brahmanaha agnau prasyanti vidhivat samasta shodashartvijaha. So that Vapa is cooked, and then the other organs or limbs of the horse is now offered into the fire. Hayasya yani changani, yani cha angani. That means whatever left other organs are there of that horse. Hayasya angani tani sarvani, all of them, all those whatever limbs. Brahmanaha agno prasyanti. These brahmanas offered that into the fire. Vidhivat. So according to the vidhi. Samastaha, you can say Samastaha. So all the limbs that are left over after that Vapa is removed, all that they have offered in the fire. And then Shodashar Tvijaha, I told you this earlier. So we have 4 Ritviks, Hota, Advaryu, Udgata, and Brahma, and each of them have 4 assistants. So there are names for each of those 4. So 16 names are there like that. So the Shodashar Tvijaha means those 16 assistants of the 4 main Ritviks. So what did they do? They took the remaining limbs of the horse and offered it in the fire according to the Vidhi. So plakshashakhasu yajnanam anyesham kriyate havihi ashwamedhasya yajnasya vaitaso bhaga ishyate. So in all other yagas, what the wood that is used is plaksha shakha. So of this plaksha tree, that the shakha, the wood of that plaksha tree is used in all other yagas, but in this ashwamedhasya yajnasya vaitaso bhaga ishyate. So there is this tree called vaitas, and that tree's bhag, or that tree shakha, the wood of that tree is used in Ashwamedha. So while all other yagas you use plaksha tree's wood, in this Ashwamedha yaga you use this Vaitasa tree's wood. Trayoshva Tryahoshvamedha Sankhyata Kalpasutreణ Brahmanaihi Chatushtom Mahastasya Prathamam Parikalpitam. So Uktyam Dvitiyam Sankhyatam Atiratram Tathottaram. So I told you in the earlier session also, Ashwamedha yaga is of 3 days. So Triyaha means 3 days. So Triyaha Ashwamedha. This Ashwamedha yaga is Triyaha. That means this Ashwamedha yaga is a yaga that is performed for 3 days. So Sankhyaataha, it is stated like that, that this Ashwamedha yaga is something that is performed for 3 days. Kalpasutrena. So where is it stated? It is stated in the Kalpasutras. Brahmanaihi. So these Brahmanas, what do? They know the Kalpasutras, so they followed that vidhi. So they said this Ashwamedha yaga is to be done for 3 days. They said that. That means they followed that kind of rule. And then what the 3 days, what you should do on each day that is being mentioned. Chatustomam ahastasya prathamam parikalpitam prathamam ahaha. So on the first day, you should do this Chatushtoma yaga. So this Chatushtoma is one of the yagas. So the Chatushtoma yaga is done on the first day, Prathamam parikalpitam. So Prathamam parikalpitam. First, what is ordained is this Chatushtoma yaga. On the first day, what is ordained is this Chatushtoma yaga. Then Ukthyam Dvitiyam. So on the second day, you do this Ukthya. So then Ukthya. Uktyam Sankhyatam. So this Ukthya yaga has been mentioned for the second day. Then Atiratram Tathottaram. Tathottaram means after that second day. That means on the third day, you do this Atiratra. So we have this yaga. So Agnishtoma, Atiratra. So there are some 7 yagas like that. Some of these names will come here also. Agnishtoma, Atiratra, Ukthya also is one of them. And then Vajapeya, these things. So these are all some 7 yagas are mentioned. So these are all those yagas which are being mentioned. So in Ashwamedha yaga, 3 days, each day you perform one yaga each. So Chatushtoma on the first day, Ukthya on the second day, and then Atiratra on the third day. Then Karitas Tatra Bahavo Vihita Shastra Darshanat. So after these 3 have been done, there is some other Shastra Vidhis. So according to those Shastra Vidhis, some other yagas have also been done. Karitaha Tatra means in that yaga after Ashwamedha has been done, Karitaha Bahavo Vihitaha Shastra Darshanat, and then they did that. So Bahavaha, many have been ordained. Vihitaha Shastra Darshanat. If you look at if somebody has studied the Shastra, they will know that many other yagas are also ordained, and those yagas have also been Karitaha, they have also been performed. So what are those yagas? There are 6 yagas, 6 types of yagas, but 2 of them you perform twice. So totally 8 more yagas are done. So 6 varieties of yagas done. So in totally how many yagas are performed? 8, of which 6 unique yagas have been performed. That is being mentioned here. So in the next shloka, Jyotishtoma chaivam atiratrau cha nirmitau abhijit vishwajit chaivam aptoryamo mahakratuhu. So this is so these 7, but of course these are not the 7 yagas that are mentioned there, but there is the standard yaga. So if one has to become, for example, Vajapeyi, they say, so he has to do first Agnishtoma and then Aptoryama, and then there is a hierarchy like that. So Vajapeya is the 4th or 5th yaga in that. So once you reach till there, then you get this title called Vajapeyi and things like that. So what are those 8 yagas, or what are those 6 unique yagas which are performed? So Jyotishtoma is the first yaga. Then Ayushi means Ayushtoma. So that is performed. Then Chaivam means cha, and also Atiratrau. So Atiratra is mentioned in Vivachana. So Atiratrau cha nirmitau means no Atiratra you have to perform twice. So Jyotishtoma, Ayushtoma, and Atiratra. Atiratra is performed twice. And then Abhijit Yaga is mentioned, is done. And then Vishwajit Yaga is done. And then Aptoryamo. So Aptoryama is also done twice. So the Mahakratuhu. So these are all Aptoryamo, Mahakratuhu. So these are all these Mahakratus that are performed. So 8, like I said, so 6 unique yagas performed, 8. So 8 yagas are actually performed. So this Vishwajit Yaga which is there, Vishwajit Yaga, for Vishwajit Yaga, the Dakshina is everything. So Sarvasva Dakshina is the Dakshina for Vishwajit Yaga. All that you have to give away in Dakshina. So Dasharatha is going to do that in the next. And also for Ashwamedha Yaga also perhaps Sarvasva Dakshina is there. This Vishwajit Yaga, because it's mentioned, so this Sarvasva Dakshina also comes. So the Sarvasva Dakshina comes up in many places. For example, in Kathopanishad also, so that's Vaja Shiravasaha. So he also does. So Sarva Vedhasam Dadau. There also the beginning scene of Kathopanishad is this Nachiketa's father is doing Sarvasva Dakshina there. So what yaga did he exactly do before that? We don't know. But there are yagas in which Sarvasva Dakshina are mentioned. This Vishwajit Yaga, if I remember rightly, for Vishwajit Yaga, Sarvasva Dakshina is mentioned. So and then for Ashwamedha also it's mentioned here, which is coming here. So now he has to do Danam. So till now the yaga portion is complete. After yaga is completed, you do Danam. And then after Danam is done, so that's how the yaga is completed. So after the end of the actual Kratu, the Danam is done, and with that Danam, the ritual is completed. So interestingly, yaga itself is, so I heard a Purvamimamsa scholar say this. So yaga itself is ordained to bring up a sense of dana in us. So the very definition of yaga is, I told this before also, this tyaga buddhi is brought in us. So devatodeshena dravyatyaga yagaha. So you have a particular devata. You have means the Shruti has said a particular devata and a particular dravya. So you keep that, so you offer this dravya to that particular devata, and there the word tyaga is used. So dravya tyagaha yagaha. So you do this tyaga of the dravya to that particular devata. I mean, you give it to offer to that devata, and then after every offering, they say, if you have heard any, if you have attended any kind of homas, you will see. So if you say Indraya Swaha, idam Indraya, idam namama. So they say Indraya idam namama. So they say like that. So this after saying Indraya Swaha, that is the mantra, and then you have to say this. It has got some particular name technically. So you have to say after doing Indraya Swaha, this is for Indra, this is not for me anymore. So idam namama. So this particular tyaga buddhi is cultivated through yaga. So that is the purpose of yaga itself. And then apart from that, of course, there is some particular danas that also you have to do. And then here you will see that Dasharatha is doing Sarvasva Dana. And then so what did he do? So now Dasharatha Sarvaswam means what? Dasharatha Sarvaswam is this great kingdom now. I mean, he already had a great kingdom due to this Ashwamedha Yaga. Perhaps it has even more increased. Now this entire kind of kingdom he has to give as Danam. So what is he doing? Prachim hotre dadau raja disham Swakulavardhanaha adhvaryave pratichin tu brahmane dakshinam disham udgatre tu tathodichin dakshinesha vinirmita ashwamedhe mahayagne swayambhu vihite pura. So swayambhu vihite ashwamedhe, by that, in that Ashwamedha Yaga which has been ordained by that Mahayagnya Ashwamedha, which has been in so Brahma Swayambhu Prajapati has ordained that in this Ashwamedha Yaga, this Dakshina has to be given in this particular way, and then Dasharatha gave it in that way. So what is that particular way? Prachim hotre. So to that hota, you have to give whatever the Prachi is eastern direction. The eastern part of your kingdom is given in dana to the hota. So Prachim hotre dadau raja. Dadau means he gave, that Raja gave. So Prachim disham, that eastern direction. Eastern direction he gave means the eastern part of his kingdom he has given up. Swakula Vardhanaha. This Swakula Vardhana is an adjective to Dasharatha. So Swakula Vardhana is he who kind of establishes or establishes his kula or his lineage. That is, he continues the lineage. That kind of Dasharatha. So he gave up this eastern direction, eastern portion of his kingdom. He gave up to the hota. So why did he give? Because that's the vidhi. He gave it up. And then adhvaryave pratichim tu. So tu means on the other hand, or you can say also to adhvaryu, the western part of the kingdom. Pratichi means the western direction. So pratichim disham, whatever is the western part of his kingdom, he gave it up to adhvaryu. And then brahmane dakshinam disham, to that Brahma. Brahma is so that to Brahma he gave the southern part of his kingdom. He gave to Brahma. So Brahma is, mind you, he's not the Chaturmukha Brahma or something. The Brahma is that supervisor I've been telling you. So in Telugu kind of Telugu speaking state, so this Vadyar who comes home for making you do these Shraddha and other ceremonies, he's called Brahmagaru. So Brahma. So why did he get this name? So Tattvavedantaji nicely says the role of Brahma in the Vedic yagas was to just supervise. So he will not actually do anything. he will just see if people. So this Adharyu and Hota and Udgata are actually performing it for the Yajaman, and then of course they are doing the actual things, but this Brahma just supervises. So from there is where this Brahmagaru for this Vadyar has come, because he also actually back then everybody studied the Vedas, so they know all the mantras, and then they have studied the Kalpa also, so they also know how to do the Shraddha and ceremonies like that. But then still this Brahma is there, because if there is any doubt or if you don't know, then he will guide you. I mean, so he will not. So today we will see that Vadyar will tell everything, and we will do on what he's saying, we do. And sometimes he tells the mantra fast and we are not even able to kind of repeat what he's saying, either because he's fast or because we don't know that language anymore. So some simple words also we don't know, so we just kind of stay silent or say some wrong words and things like that. But then that's not how this was I mean initially planned, perhaps because that very word Brahma there used there indicated you are supposed to do, and then he's just seeing, supervising if you're doing correctly or not. Anyway, so the southern part of his kingdom, he gave to this Brahma as dana, and then Udgatre to Tathodichin. So Udichin Disham, the northern direction, he gave to Udgatha, Udgata, and then Dakshinesha Vinirmita. So Dakshina for this yaga has been thus ordained in for Ashwamedha yaga by Brahma, by Prajapati. It has been ordained that Dakshina has to be given in this way. This way means eastern direction to Hota, western direction to Adhvaryu, southern direction to Brahma, and northern direction to Udgata. So it has been ordained like that by Brahma in the beginning. By Brahma in the beginning means in the Vedas it has been ordained like that, and this Dasharatha also followed it. And then Kratum Samapyatu Tada Nyayatah Purusharshabha Ritvigbhyo hi Dadau Raja Dharam Tam Kulavardhana. So like I said, once this Dakshina is done, so so once Dakshina is given, then the kratu is completed. So kratum samapya. So this Ashwamedha kratu and all the other yagas which have to, I mean those 8 yagas which we saw, right, which have to be done, those have also been done, and then Dakshina has been given. Through that the yaga itself is completed. Kratum samapya, having completed the kratu, nyayataha means according to Shastra, Purusharshabha, this Dasharatha, this great king, he having completed this yaga, Ritvigbhyo hi dadau raja dharam tam kulavardhanaha. So kulavardhanaha is coming again. So all this is dhvani. Kulavardhanaha is being used. That means now he is going to become kulavardhanaha because of this yaga. So that suggestion is being given by. So mind you, like I told this in the beginning itself, if you are reading Valmiki Ramayana for the first time, and if you don't know Rama's story at all, which is perhaps impossible, at least for an Indian, at least for a Hindu, everybody knows, at least what should I say, the rough details of Ramayana story are known. So you know that Dasharatha will have Rama as a son. But suppose you don't know that Dasharatha will have Rama as his son, then you will see that Kulavardhanaha Dhvani is coming 2-3 times. That means now Dasharatha is going to have children, for which, I mean, he's going to have children. That is, his expectation is being fulfilled. With what expectation he started the yaga, that expectation is going to be fulfilled. That kind of Dhvani is being, let's say, thrown by Valmiki by this using this Kulavardhanaha. So Ritvigbhyoha Dadau. So this Dasharatha, this Kulavardhanaha Dasharatha, gave this Dakshina to the Ritviks. Then Evandatva Prahishto Bhut Shriman Ikshvakunandanaha. So Evandatva Prahishto Bhut Shriman Ikshvakunandanaha. So this Ikshvakunandanaha, the son of the Ikshvaku lineage, is Dasharatha. Evan Dattva, having given the Dakshina like this, Prahrishto Bhut, so he became very happy. It's not like, now what will I do? All my kingdom is lost, so I gave it up in Dakshina. It's not like that. He's very happy because he did what the Shastra has ordained upon him to do. Having taken up Ashwamedha Yaga, he did the Sankalpa, so you have to follow it completely. Now, mind you, the Rajya has gone. How will he get back the Rajyam? So how did he become king again? So obviously, maybe you people have guessed that these people will give it back to Dasharatha. So they will give it back. Why did they give it back? Because it has been, so that also Valmiki will say, it has been ordained upon them to not engage in statecraft. It has been ordained upon them to go and study and teach. So it is their duty. So this Vedic society is a society of duties. You have given up. Dasharatha has given up the kingdom because it is his duty. These Brahmanas, so Dasharatha now, I mean, when you give up because it is your duty, now you don't have any expectation that yeah, I gave, but I am sure they will give it to me. That's not the attitude. The attitude with which Dasharatha gave is because it is my duty, so I have given it up. Now, of course, the Brahmanas will return it, and they will they will say it's not our duty to rule, so you take it back. So this is a duty based kind of society, which perhaps we don't see in these days, where a rights based kind of values are inculcated. Of course you have rights, but then everybody also has to, what should I say, stick to their duties anyway. So now Dasharatha is happy because he has done whatever he has to do. He's done, and now he is happy. Now this Ritviks take over. Ritvijastva Bruvan Sarve Rajanam Gatakil Visham Bhavaneva Mahim Kritsnam Eko Rakshitumarhati. So the Ritvijaha, these Ritviks, Abruvan Sarve Ritvijaha, Abruvan, all these Ritviks say the following words. So to whom? To this Raja. Rajanam means to this Raja. And what kind of Raja? He's Gata Kilbisham. That means now, because of this performance of Ashwamedha Yaga, all his papas have gone away. All his sins have been kind of eliminated. So such a Raja. So Gata Kilbisham means he for whom now all these papams have gone away. Such kind of to such kind of a Raja, all these Ritviks say the following words. What did they say? Bhavaneva Mahim Kritsnam Eko Bhavaneva Mahim Kritsnam Eko Rakshitumarhati. So they are saying, hey Raja, you alone are capable of protecting this entire earth. So Kritsna means this entire Kritsna means what? Kritsnam Vasundharam. This entire earth, you alone are capable of protecting. That means we have nothing to do with it. You are capable of only you are capable. Rakshitumahati. So you are capable of protecting it. Na bhumya karyam asmakam nahi shakta smapalane tata swadhyaya karane vayam nityam hi bhumipa. So na bhumya karyam asmakam. So we have nothing to do with this bhumi. So you have given us this great bhumi, but then na bhumya karyam asmakam bhumya na karyam. We have nothing to gain, or we have nothing to do with this bhumi. You have given it to us, but it is of no use to us. And then also nahi shaktasma palane. It's not of use to us. And okay, it's not used to us, but maybe now I can start using it, and then maybe it will eventually be of use to me. But no, I'm not even capable of kind of ruling it. So if I'm not capable of ruling it and still I hold on to it, then I will even kind of spoil it. So what is given to me, I will not be even be able to hold on to it, or kind of protect it. So I have nothing to do with it, and I'm not even capable of ruling it. So and then what are you capable of? Suppose Dasharatha is asking, you can imagine, or maybe we are asking, are you capable of? Tata swadhyaya karane vayam nityam he bhumipa. Bhumipa he ruler of the whatever. Dhyaya karane. Dhyaya is, so you teach, and adhyayana and adhyapana both you should consider. Is the connection okay? So okay. So I'm hoping it's fine. Uh, Swadhyaya Karane. So we are engaged in Swadhyaya Karane Rataha. We are always engaged in Swadhyaya. So we have nothing to do with this. In fact, because we are engaged in Swadhyaya, this bhumi and then protection of it and all of that will become a hindrance to us. So Nishkriyam Kinchi. So we don't want this kind of bhumi, but Nishkriyam Kinchi Deveha Prayachatu Bhavaniti. So निष्क्रियं किञ्चिदेवेह प्रयच्छतु भवानिति मणिरत्नं सुवर्ण गावो यद्वा समुद्यतं तत्प्रयत्न नृपश्रेष्ठ धरण्यान प्रयोजनम. So निष्क्रियं किञ्चिदेवेह, निष्क्रियं means something in exchange you give something to us. And then also, I mean, I feel there is a dhvani to say nishkriyam means give us something in, we don't have to do anything. So we are, it's something like a fixed deposit. So there is fixed deposit, and I get money of doing anything. The bank will take care of how to make interest and how to give you things like that. So something like that is what it appears to me. But nishkriyam means here something in exchange. So nishkriyam kinchi deveha, something you give. Prayachatu, bhavan prayachatu means you. So bhavan is used in plural, sort of respect. You give something else to us in return. And what kind of things? So mani ratnam, so some kind of gems and precious stones. Suvarnamba, some gold. Avaha, some cows. Yadva samudyatam, or something that you have. So they are not even insisting on these things. So yadva samudyatam means, or anything else that is available, just give that much to us. So that you give to us. Whatever is available around you, that you give to us. Kings, dharanya na prayojanam. So dharanya, by this earth, na prayojanam. We don't have any prayojanam. And then now, evamukto narapatir brahmanai veda paragaihi gavam shata sahasrani dasha tebhyo dadaun rupaha dasha kotim surnasya rajatasya chaturgunam. So now Eva Muktaha, having thus told by these Ritviks, Narapatihi, this king Dasharatha, Brahmanaihi Veda Paragaihi. So Brahmanaihi Veda Paragaihi Eva Muktaha. So having addressed thus by these Brahmanas who are experts in Vedas, this Narapati, what did he do? Gavam Shata Sahasrani Dasha Tebhyo Dadau. To them he gave, this Nripaha, this king, he gave them. What did he give them? Gavam. So Gavaha, he gave them cows. And but then how many cows? Gavam Shata Sahasrani. Shata Sahasrani. Sahasra means 1,000. Shata means 100. So 100,000. But not just 100,000. Shata Sahasrani. Shata Sahasrani Dasha. So 100,000 cows he gave them. So 100,000 means so 100,000 means how much? So somebody can tell me. Shata Dasha Shata Sahasrani. So Shata Sahasrani is 100,000, which is 1 lakh. And then so 1 crore cows maybe. So Dasha Shata Sahasrani Gavam Dadau. So Tebhya Dadau. He gave so many cows to these Brahmanas. And then Dasha Kotim Suvarnasya. So 10 crore gold coins he gave them. And then Rajatasya Chaturgunam. So 4 times of that, 4 times of those gold coins he gave silver coins. Rajatasya Chaturgunam. Chaturgunam means Dasha Koti. So 10 crore of gold coins he gave. Then 4 times, that is 40 crores of silver coins he gave to these Ritviks. Now again, a small discussion here. And then I'm bringing that up because, like I said, this comes up in other Vedanta texts sometimes. So this giving, and then it's nice to know also. So giving silver as dana is prohibited. So there is a akhyayika like that in the Vedas, that it seems silver was born from the tears of Rudra, tears of Shiva or Rudra. So Saha Arodit, there is a mantra. There's a statement like that. Saha Arodit means he cried. So Shiva, Rudra cried, and from those tears, silver was born. So that is a story, Akhyayika. The meaning, the intention of that story is to say that I think that comes up in Barhi Aga context. In Barhi Aga, you should not give silver. Here, Govindaraja is quoting, even in Ashwamedha Yaga, silver should not be given as Dakshina, that is being mentioned. But then now, how did Dasharatha give silver? So 40 crore silver coins he gave. So Govindaraja is nicely kind of settling that issue. So it's not that he gave 40 crore gold coins as Dakshina. He gave 40 crore gold coins as exchange. So this Dakshina he gave as earth, this entire Prithvi, his kingdom, he gave as Dakshina. But now this silver is given in exchange. So it amounts to saying that he not give silver as Dakshina, but he gave Prithvi as Dakshina, and in exchange, that for this exchange you can give, and there is no hani of that prohibition of, and that problem doesn't arise in this case because it is just an exchange and not a dana. And now, see, this is the magnanimity next shloka. Magnanimity as in the attitude with which those people live. So what did these Ritviks do with that money? So whatever we like, they didn't do like that. They went and gave all that. So there are so many Ritviks, Ritviks, the 16 plus 4. So many people are there. All of them, they decided. So, or 20 people of those, these 18 people decided, let us give that to Vasishtha and Rishyashringa, and they will decide how much each one will get. So Ritvijaha, those Ritvijas 2 here means on the other hand. On the other hand shows that, so they took it, but what did they do? So that's the intention. So 2 means there. So Ritvijas 2 tataha sarve Ritvijaha sahita. Vasu means wealth. So sahita means so pradaduhu, they gave to whom? Rishyashringa. Sahita means together. They all went and gave this to Rishyashringaya Munaye, to that Muni Rishyashringa they gave it, and Vasishtha yacha dhimate, to that very intelligent Vasishtha they gave. So why did they give? That means they gave it for them to distribute it equally amongst them. Tataste nyayatah kritva pravibhagam dujottamaha suprita manasas sarve pratyujur mudita bhrisham. So it's not that they gave, so it's not mentioned there that they gave it to Vasishtha and Rishyashringa to distribute back to them. So they just felt that they are the kind of chief Ritviks, so we will give it to them. And then it's the magnanimity of Rishishringa and Vasishta that they didn't say, okay, we will keep all of it. They distributed it back. So how did they distribute? Nyayataha pravibhagam krutva. So according to what is each one's deserving share, they divided it like that, and then they distributed it. Pravibhagam krutva suprita manasas sarve. So tataste nyayatah krutva pravibhagam dujottamaha. All those Ritviks now. So in the supervision of Vasishta and Rishishringa, they divided that wealth amongst themselves. And then Suprita Manasa Sarve Pratyujur Mudita Bhrisham. So now they are all very happy. And then and then as a response to that happiness, they all say some Ashirvadam to that king. So Sarve Pratyuchuhu. Pratyuchuhu means they said something in return. Mudita Bhrisham. Bhrisham means again and again. Mudita means with great happiness. Again and again they said. They said means again and again with happiness they did Ashirvada. So Suprita Manasaha. So Suprita Manasaha means they were happy, that kind of thing. Then Tatah Prasarpakebhyastu Hiranyam Susamahitaha Jambunadam Koti Sankyam Brahmanebhyo Dadau Tada. So now there are other Brahmanas also, not just these Ritviks. There are 4 main Ritviks and 16 assistant Ritviks, not just them. There are other Brahmanas. We have seen so many people have also come. To them also, Prasarpakebhyaha. Prasarpaka means these audience Brahmanas, the Brahmanas who have assembled there for various other reasons apart from being just the Ritviks. So tataha, thereafter to these Prasarpakas, the audience Brahmanas, Hiranyam Susamahitaha. So this Dasharatha, great king Dasharatha, this well composed king Dasharatha, Hiranyam, Jambunadam Hiranyam. So Hiranyam, gold which is obtained in the this Jambu Nadi. So Jambu Nadam means this is Nadi called this Jambu Nadi or Jambu Nadi. In that Nadi, this gold was obtained from there. So that gold, how much was that? Koti Sankyam. It was crore, 1 crore gold coins. Brahmanebhyaha Prasarpakebhyaha Brahmanebhyaha. That means the Brahmanas who are in the audience, he gave. So this Dasharatha gave 1 crore gold coins to those Brahmanas. So interestingly, I attended one what should I say, one Veda Parayana ritual after somebody's wedding. So in the wedding, there's a boys' side and girls' side. Both of them had their own priest, Vadya, this side Vadya and that side Vadya. And then on the evening of the wedding is generally over in the morning in Tamilian homes. So evening, there was some Veda Ashirvadam. So Veda Pandits came from Veda Bhavan and did that Ashirvadam. Some 10 Ganapatis or somebody. So after that, whatever the Yajaman gave the Dakshina to all those Veda Pandits. And then those Pandits, their magnanimity of those Pandits, these Atvadyar, the Vadyar or the priest of the family priest of both sides, they were not Veda Pandits or something. They just know Paurohityam and they know how to do these rituals. So they were sitting down. They didn't sit on the stage where Veda Pandits were sitting and doing Ashirvadam. But this Veda Pandits, the head of them, identified them and said, you also, during the Dakshina time. So he said, you also come here, and he made them sit. And then this kind of Yajaman, whatever shawl he gave to each person and whatever Dakshina he gave to each person, the same Dakshina he gave to these people also. So that's what Dasharatha also kind of did. So these audience people, these Brahmanas in the audience, to them also he gave Dakshina, not just to the Brahmanas who have assembled, Brahmanas who have actually done the Ritviks who have actually done the Ashwamedha Yaga. Now another beautiful scene. So similar kind of scene. Now what Dasharatha is doing, you will see that Rama also does something like this. Something similar. So what happened after all this Danam was done, he gave up all his kingdom, whatever wealth he got from the Ashwamedha Yaga, that also he gave up, all these gold coins and things like that he gave up, and now nothing is left with Dasharatha. Now he's completely kind of empty-handed. I mean, literally he doesn't have any wealth. At that time, one poor Brahmin comes to Dasharatha. See what he does. So Daridraya Dvijayatha Hasta Bharanamuttamam Asmaichid Yachamanaya Dadau Raghavanandanaha. Raghavanandanaha is Dasharatha, the king who has come in that lineage of Raghus. So Dadau he gave. So Kasmaichid Yachamanaya to some random Daridraya Brahmanaya, some Daridraya Dvijaya, to some random poor. So Daridra means poor. So poor Dvija. And he had come to Dasharatha in asking for something. So Yachamanaya means he has been asking Dasharatha for something. So Dasharatha didn't have anything. So what did he do immediately? So Hasta Bharanam, he had an Abharanam on his hand that he removed immediately and gave it to that Brahmana. So Hasta Bharanam Uttamam, that great. So Dasharatha Chakravarti is wearing that Abharanam, means you can imagine how precious that Abharanam will be. So that Abharanam he gave away to that Brahmana who has come seeking for some. So that poor Brahmana has come seeking for some. What should I say? Something. So he was poor, so he asked Dasharatha for something. So similar incident you will see in Ayodhya Kanda. So if I forget to connect that time, you people can remember and tell me. So then tatah priteshu vidhivat dvijeshu dvijavatsalaha pranama makarottesham harshavyakulitendriyaha tatah priteshu vidhivat dvijeshu dvijavatsalaha. This dvijavatsalaha is Dasharatha. So dvijavatsalaha is he who has some kind of affection or respect towards his dvijas. That Dasharatha, what did he do? Pranama makarot. He did pranama. So how did he do pranama? Somewhere it comes in the next shloka that he fell on the ground and did pranama. So Ashtanga pranamam he did. So to whom priteshu vidhivat pranamam akarot. So vidhivat means according to whatever is the rule. I mean the vidhi of Ashtanga pranama. So I told this earlier also. So that Ashtanga pranama he did. Priteshu dvijeshu, to those dvijas who are they are also happy that a kratu has been well performed. Then this Dasharatha did Sashtanga pranama. And what kind of Dasharatha? Harsha vyakulitendriyaha. So his indriyas, or rather his eyes here. So his eyes are teared. I mean teary eyes Dasharatha. And why is he crying? I mean, why is he having those tears? Because he's happy. So he has these tears of happiness because a nice yaga has been well performed. Now tasyashishotha vividha brahmanais samudahritah udarasya nruvirasya dharanyam patitasya cha. So dharanyam patitasya nruvirasya. So dharanyam patitaha means one who has fallen flat on the earth. And who is that? Nruviraha, this great king. Viraha is one who has conquered the enemies. Or Viraha is one who has great prowess. Nruviraha is that great king with great prowess, or the king who has conquered other kind of enemy or subordinate king, something like that. So Nruviraha is Dasharatha. This Dasharatha is Dharanyam Patitaha. So he is fallen flat on the earth. To that Dasharatha, Udarasya is very generous. So he didn't hide anything with him. He said give everything, he gave away everything. To that Dasharatha, Tasya Dasharathasya Nruvirasya Asishaha. So Vividha Asishaha. So various kinds of Ashirvadams, these Brahmanaihi Samudahritaha. By these Brahmanas, various kinds of Ashirvadams have been uttered. Tatah Pritamana Raja Prapya Yajna Manuttamam Papapaham Swarnayanam Dustaram Parthivarshabhaihi Tatobbravi Drishya Shringam Raja Dasharathastada Kulasya Vardhanam Tattu Kartum Arhasi Suvrata. So Tataha Pritamana Raja, then thereafter, having obtained the Ashirvadam of all those Brahmanas assembled there, he is happy. I mean, he has that kind of Pritamana he has that happiness in his Antahkarana, that Raja Prapya Yajnam Anuttamam. Prapya means, so having come, Prapya literally means having obtained that. Anuttamam means that unsurpassed yaga, that unsurpassed yajna, great yajna, Ashwamedha yajna. Prapya, having obtained. That's the literal meaning. But then actually it means, Prapya means having completed that great yaga. And then what kind of yaga it is? Papapaham. It is a yaga that destroys his papams. And then Swarnayanam. Swarnayanam means, Swaha means Swargaloka. So this yaga is something that takes him to Swargaloka. Swarnayanam means that which takes him to Swargaloka. And then Dustaram. Dustaram is, so Dustaram literally means very difficult to cross. So here it means very difficult to complete, because it's a very big yaga. You have seen that he had to wait for 1 or 2 years, he had to wait, and then that yaga takes place. So it's a lot of things have to be done. Always there is a possibility of something going wrong, but still nothing went wrong, and he did everything nicely. So Dustaram is something that is difficult to complete. So many tasks are there. And Parthivarshabhaihi Tatobravit. Parthivarshabhaihi Prapya Yajnam Anuttamam. So Parthivarshabhaihi, by these Parthivarshabhaihi. Okay, just a second. Parthivarshabhaihi. So just see Parthivarshabhaihi. Parthivarshabha is this great king. So so let me keep this on hold. This Parthivarshabhaihi is an adjective to whom? Maybe if you are having some English translation or something, you can tell me.
Parthivarshabhaihi Dustaram. That is how it is.
Okay. Yeah. Parthivarshabhaihi Dustaram. Thank you. So it's difficult to cross over. I mean, so not every king can perform this yaga. So that kind of great difficult yaga having completed, Tataha Abravit Rishya Shringam. So to Rishya Shringa, this Raja Dasharatha, this Dasharatha Raja said the following words to Rishishringa. What did he say? Pulasya vardhanam tattu kartum arhasi suvrata. Suvrata is somebody, I mean, Suvrata means a great muni. I mean, somebody who has done a lot of vratams and things like that. So, hey Suvrata, hey great muni, Rishishringa. So, Pulasya vardhanam kartum arhasi. So, do some yaga through which my kula, my lineage continues. So, vardhanam is growth of the lineage. So, do that yaga through which my lineage continues. तथेति च, so this Rishishringa is replying, तथेति च राजानम् उवाच द्विज सत्तमः भविष्यन्ति सुता राजन्स चत्वारस्ते कुलोद्वहाः. So tatha, so like I said, tatha means okay, sure, definitely, tathastu. Rajanam uvacha. So he says these following words to that king, Dvija Sattamaha, that great Rishishringa, great Brahmana Rishishringa, tatha. Tathastu, he says, bhavishyanti. And then what does he say? Bhavishyanti suta rajans chatvaraste kulodvaha. So though you will have 4 sons, bhavishyanti, in the future you will have 4 sons who will kind of uphold the name of your lineage, like that. Hey Rajan, you will have 4 such sons. And then satasya vakyam madhuram nishamya pranamya tasmai prayaton nrupendraha jagama harsham paramam mahatma tamrishyasringam punarapyuvacha. So tasya vakyam madhuram nishamya. So tasya means Rishishringasya vakyam saha Dasharatha madhuram vakyam nishamya, having heard those sweet words. Why is it sweet? Because he's been longing to have children for a very long time. He's been longing to have children, and when this great muni is blessing him that you will have children, then so it comes as a relief to Dasharatha. So it's madhuram vakyam nishamya pranamya tasmai pranamya, having done pranama to him. Prayataha prayataha means, and Rupendraha is Dasharatha king. Prayataha is, so he put some efforts in doing the pranama, you can say like that. So that means he has done Sashtanga pranamam again. So Prayataha or Prayataha and Rupendraha. Sorry, Prayataha is, so this Nrupendra, it's an adjective to Dasharatha. Prayataha is one who has done this great kratu, this great yajna, that Dasharatha. Jagama harsham paramam mahatma. Mahatma is again adjective to Dasharatha. Jagama harsham. So paramam harsham jagama. He obtained that great happiness. And then tam Rishyashringam punarapyuvacha. So punarapi Rishyashringam uvacha, tam Rishyashringam uvacha. What did he say? That is not there here, not does it come in the next sarga. So you should imagine that he says once again, thank you very much for having performed this yaga for me. Please do something so that I beget children also. I beget children, sons also. So like I told earlier, the idea is that this whatever papa that is blocking Dasharatha from having children, that has to be removed, and then positively for begetting children, another karma, which is putra kameshti. Now in the next sarga, Rishishringa will say that let us do putra kameshti yaga for you. So Dasharatha is repeating those words. So please do something so that I get children. That completes the sarga. Ityarshe Srimad Ramayane Valmikiya Adi Kavye Balakande Chaturdasha Sargaha. So before we close, I just want to make some comments which I was thinking about this afternoon. So Tyagaraja Swami has a song. So Sri Rama Jai Rama Shringara Ramayani Chintim Parade O Manasa. So he's addressing his mind. So why don't you think like this? So what should you think? Sri Rama Jai Rama Shringara Rama. Shringara Rama means beautiful Rama. So Chintim Parade. Why don't you think like this? Hey Manas. So and then so it struck me this afternoon by Rama's grace that song is actually a description of Balakanda only, because he goes on to say, so Taluku Chekkila Muddu Betta Kausalya Tapamemi Jeseno. So he's saying, I wonder what tapas Kausalya would have done to kiss you on those kind of what should I say, the cheeks which are, the standard description for cheeks which is given in all our poems is to say that cheeks are shining as though they are mirrors. So they are shining. Perfect shining means it should be like a mirror. You see at it and you get this. You can see in this Vim and Prill ads. You can see. So it's so clear that you can see your own face on the plate. Something like that. So that's the kind of standard for how shining it is. It's so shining that you can see your own reflection. Something like that. So that shining cheeks. So what tapas Kausalya should have done to kiss you on those cheeks. And then Sri Rama Rarayani Dasharathudu Piluva Tapamemi Jesano. So that Dasharatha, what tapas did that Dasharatha do to be able to call you, Rama, come here? So what tapas did he do? And then Tanaventa so Kaushikudu tapamemi jesano. So Tanuventa Janu Chuchi. So that Kaushika is Vishwamitra. What tapas Vishwamitra did to see that this Rama who, so like in about Krishna there is a shloka, so Upanishad Artham Ulukale Nibaddham. So you know what is her name? So Yashoda tied Krishna to this what should I say, that grinding stone. So whom did she tie? She didn't tie Krishna to the grinding stone. She tied Upanishad Artham. So as when I say I'm getting goosebumps, so that essence of Upanishad she tied to the what should I say, to the grinding stone. So such was her bhakti. So now this Rama is following Vishwamitra. Who's that Rama? That Rama is somebody whom these Vedas are trying to follow. You know, such kind of, so these Vedas are trying to follow. Tyagaraja doesn't say it there. He says in some other songs. But then this Rama is following Vishwamitra. So Vishwamitra, how happy he must be at looking that this Rama is following me. So how much tapas should that Vishwamitra have done to see that Rama is following me? So and then how much tapas Ahalya should have been done that her afflictions are removed by just Rama's entry into the ashrama. So Rama enters that ashrama and Ahalya's tapasya is completed. So what great tapasya she must have done, and then what great tapasya Janaka should have done, that he gave his own daughter in marriage to that great Rama. And then what great tapas did that Shiva Dhanush do, so that the description is Rama. So I'm coming to my point. I'm just finishing that song and description of the song. So that Shiva Dhanush, what did he do is Rama lifted that. We will see that in Balakanda later. He lifted that Dhanush, and then there was no competition or something. He just seized that Dhanush because he's a Kshatriya prince. And then Vishwamitra says, why don't you? He tells Janaka, why don't you get that great bow which is there in your family? Just show it to Rama and things like that. So when it is brought for Rama to see, then Rama, he is waiting, and then Vishwamitra says, okay, why Vatsa Rama Dhanush Pasya, so why don't you have a look at this Dhanush? So Rama goes and takes that Dhanush up, and then because he's natural curiosity is there, because he's a Kshatriya prince, he says, let me try to string this bow. So he tries to string the bow. So how do you string the bow? You put 1 feet on the lower end of the bow and then try to bend it and string. So that's so. So Dasharatha is telling what tapas that Shiva Dhanush should have done, that it got Rama's charana sparsha. So and then what tapas Janaki Devi should have done, that she's able to hold Rama's hand. And then finally he ends by saying, what tapas did Narada do to call you? And how did he call you? He calls you Tyagarajapta. So Narada is saying, you are Tyagaraja's friend. He's praising you like that. So what tapas Narada would have done? So if you see, all these stories are, all these events are events of Balakanda only. So what am I trying to say is what tapas Dasharatha did, Tyagaraja is asking what tapas Dasharatha did, what tapas Kausalya did. So you can see in this sarga we have seen. Of course, the next sarga also you will see that what great tapas in the form of this great yaga Dasharatha did to get Sakshat Vishnu as his son. So this is that great tapas. You can see what kind of what should I say? Uh, what should I say, eagerness he had to get that son, and such eagerness. So my teacher asked me, you are teaching, you are talking on Ramayana, all that is nice, but with what intention are you teaching Ramayana or talking on Ramayana? So you should. So I asked him, you tell me what intention I should have. So he said you should have that intention, you and your whatever audience also. So he told me in some weeks back. So he told me the intention that you should have is that Rama should be born in my heart also. So I should be able to see that Rama. So with that intention, you should study Ramayana and things like that. So we should also have that great, what should I say, eagerness like Dasharatha had for a son. So son there is Rama only. So that the kind of eagerness that Kaushalya and Dasharatha displayed by that great. So doing this great yaga is a tapas in itself. So that kind of eagerness when we also have, we will also be able to have Rama born in our hearts. We will let's say rise to Rama consciousness, to borrow expressions from some other book. So we rise to Rama consciousness, let's say, that Rama to be born in our hearts. We should also have that great bhakti like Dasharatha had, the great, what should I say, anxiety ni, that great eagerness to have Rama born within us. So I thought I will just make this comment. ओम यत्र यत्र रघुनाथ कीर्तनम तत्र तत्र कृतमस्तकाञ्जलिं बाष्पवारि परिपूर्णलोचनं मारुतिं नमत राक्षसान्तकम् ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। श्री रामार्पणमस्तु।